Hey there, and welcome to tonight's journey. Settle in, get comfortable, and allow yourself to drift into a world unlike any other where nature's fury and beauty collide in the most awe-inspiring ways. We're heading to Tateyama, nestled deep in the heart of the Japanese Alps, a mountain range that's as much about survival as it is about breathtaking views. Picture yourself standing at the base of towering, snow-covered peaks, gazing up at jagged rocks peeking through thick blankets of snow. The air here is unlike anywhere else, thin and crisp, biting at your skin, a reminder that you are far from the warmth of the world below. This is Tateyama, a place where nature reigns supreme, a stunning paradox of beauty and danger. The mountains are imposing, silent guardians that look down on all who dare enter. And yet, despite their harshness, Tateyama is undeniably captivating. It's a place that grabs hold of your senses and refuses to let go, leaving an imprint of its rugged beauty on your soul. But Tateyama isn't just about breathtaking views and serene landscapes. No, it's far more than that. It's a place where survival is the constant challenge, a land where humans and nature have found ways to coexist, often in the most extreme conditions. In the summer, the peaks are covered with green, bathed in sunlight that feels almost too warm compared to what's to come. But just as soon as the warmth of summer begins to fade, the fierce winds of winter arrive. Suddenly, everything changes. The temperatures plummet, snow begins to fall in relentless torrents, and the landscape transforms into a white, icy world. Imagine the ground beneath your feet, turning to a thick, impenetrable layer of snow, the world muffled by the constant fall of flakes. You can hear the wind howling through the peaks, a deep, echoing sound that feels as if the mountain itself is speaking. In this place, winter doesn't just make its presence known, it dominates. And it's this shift, this dramatic contrast between the seasons, that makes Tateyama not just a place on the map, but a place that demands your attention and respect. Tateyama's winter is a challenge for anyone who dares to live here. The snow can pile up to 8 to 10 meters deep in some places, creating walls of snow so tall that they nearly block out the sunday. The harsh winds and freezing temperatures transform the landscape into a dangerous, desolate expanse. For the people who live and work here, it's not just about enduring the cold. It's about mastering it. In fact, this unforgiving environment has shaped every aspect of life here, from the homes people build to the clothing they wear, and even the way they transport goods. For the workers, maintaining the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route is no small feat. This 37.2-kilometer stretch of land connects regions on both sides of the mountain, providing a vital lifeline for both tourists and the people who live in these isolated areas. The route is not just a means of transportation. It is the thread that ties Tateyama's communities together. Workers here face the brunt of the brutal weather, plowing through meters of snow, clearing roads, and ensuring that the route remains open despite the constant threat of snowfall. For them, survival means resilience. It means never backing down in the face of Mother Nature's most extreme tantrums. And then there are the residents, the people who have called this snow-covered land home for generations. Theirs is a quiet form of survival, a survival built on community and cooperation. Winter is harsh, yes, but it is also a time when families come together, when neighbors help one another clear snow from rooftops, or share food to get through the months of isolation. Life in Tateyama requires a deep sense of connection to the land and to each other. Here, survival is not just about getting by, it's about finding a way to thrive despite the odds stacked against you. But what makes Tateyama even more remarkable is that, despite the challenges, the mountain is more than just a place of survival. It's a symbol of the strength of the human spirit, of how people can adapt to their environment, using creativity and ingenuity to live in harmony with nature. The traditional homes here are built to withstand the weight of snow and fierce winds, with thick walls and low roofs designed to shed snow quickly. The clothing is heavy and practical, layers of thick wool, fur-lined hoods, and insulated boots that keep the cold at bay. People here don't just face the cold. They wear it, live it, and make it part of their daily existence. At the same time, Tateyama is more than just a place of survival. It is also a place of peace, a place of connection to something greater. For centuries, the mountain has held a spiritual significance, especially in the Shinto tradition, where it is believed that Tateyama is a sacred mountain, a place where the gods dwell. Pilgrims have trekked to its peaks for generations, seeking spiritual enlightenment and a deeper connection to the divine. The harsh conditions, the extreme weather, and the towering, almost intimidating presence of the mountain all add to the sense of awe and reverence that people feel when they approach Tateyama. In the depths of winter, when the winds blow and the snow covers everything in sight, there's a sense of stillness, as if the entire world has slowed down. The people of Tateyama understand that in this stillness lies something important, an opportunity to reflect, to meditate, and to connect with the land. It's a place where survival is not just about enduring the elements, but about finding peace within them. The struggle against the cold becomes a form of respect for nature itself, a recognition that life, no matter how difficult, is worth living when shared with the mountain and the community. So, as you close your eyes and imagine yourself standing in the shadow of Tateyama, surrounded by towering snow walls and the constant hum of the wind, remember that this place is about more than just survival. It's about living with nature, adapting to its extremes, and finding meaning in even the harshest conditions. Here, in Tateyama, the mountain teaches us that resilience is not about avoiding the cold, it's about learning to live with it, respect it, and thrive within it. And maybe, just maybe, that's the greatest lesson we can all learn. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain range that stretches across the horizon, its peaks towering over everything around you. This is Tateyama, a part of the Japanese Alps, located in central Japan. The mountain's highest peak, Mount Tateyama, rises to 3,015 meters above sea level, making it one of the most prominent and imposing mountains in the region. Surrounded by deep valleys, rugged cliffs, and dense forests, Tateyama forms a dramatic landscape that changes with the seasons. During the summer, it's lush with green, but as you look closer, you can see the snow-capped peaks still lingering in the distance, reminding you that this place is no stranger to extremes. You can imagine yourself standing there now, looking up at the towering peaks. The steep slopes and rugged terrain make it a challenge to navigate. Yet the mountain holds a certain pull that brings adventurers, pilgrims, and locals to explore its depths. The accessibility of Tateyama is primarily through the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, a road that weaves through tunnels, cable cars, and even buses, allowing you to journey through its remote beauty. Still, despite this path, the mountain remains wild, a testament to the difficulty of taming its harsh environment. As you stand there, breathing in the crisp, cool air, the reality of the mountain's power begins to settle in. The peaks loom above, seemingly untouched by time, their jagged edges cutting into the sky like ancient sentinels. Tateyama is a place that commands respect, not just for its stunning views, but for the raw strength of nature it embodies. The seasons here paint the landscape in dramatic hues, lush greens in the summer, a patchwork of vibrant autumn colors, and in winter, the land is blanketed in an all-encompassing white silence, with snowfalls that can last for weeks. The mountain's isolation is as much a part of its identity as its towering height. The surrounding valleys, deep and shadowed, hide ancient forests that have withstood the test of time, their roots firmly entrenched in the rocky soil. These forests are home to wildlife that have adapted to the harsh conditions, from snow leopards to wild boar, all of which add to the mystique of the area. Yet, it's not just the natural beauty that makes Tateyama so unique, it's the survival of both its environment and its people. For those who dare to venture into this unforgiving land, Tateyama offers both awe and challenge. The steep inclines and rugged terrain make even the simplest of tasks difficult. But there's a draw to this place, a sense of adventure that calls to those with the courage to explore its depths. The Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route provides access to the heart of this remote wilderness, allowing travelers to experience the mountain's imposing beauty without being overwhelmed by its isolation. The route itself is a feat of engineering, winding through tunnels, across suspension bridges, and up cable cars that scale the steepest cliffs, offering stunning views of the snow-covered peaks and deep, shadowed valleys below. But even with the advancements in technology, the mountain retains its untamed spirit. The road is open only for part of the year, and the surrounding wilderness remains largely inaccessible during the long, harsh winter months. For those who live in the shadow of Tateyama, life is not just about overcoming the landscape's challenges. It's about adapting to them, making peace with the mountain's formidable presence, and learning to live in harmony with its cycles. The harsh winters are a reminder that nature, no matter how beautiful, can also be ruthless. Yet, it is precisely this balance between the breathtaking beauty and the unrelenting power of the mountain that makes Tateyama so unforgettable. As the seasons shift, so does the landscape, and you feel the drastic change when winter arrives. The air grows frigid, and the temperature drops sharply, often well below freezing. Imagine stepping outside, feeling your breath catch as it forms visible clouds of mist in the cold air. The ground beneath your feet hardens, turning to ice, and the snow begins to fall, sometimes relentlessly. In Tateyama, winter is not a simple season. It's a battle. Every year, the region receives up to 8 to 10 meters of snow, which piles up over the months, blanketing the area in a thick white sheet. For the people who live here, the snow isn't just something to admire from afar, it's a constant presence, a force to be reckoned with. Picture walking through this deep snow, each step requiring more effort as the flakes swirl around you, and the temperature continues to plummet. The winds can pick up with terrifying intensity, making the air feel like a cutting blade, and the chill penetrates straight to your bones. These conditions turn everyday tasks into monumental challenges. Whether it's clearing your path, maintaining the Alpine route, or just keeping your home warm, you quickly realize that surviving here means working in harmony with the harshest elements nature has to offer. As you trudge through the snow, each step feels like a small victory over the forces of nature. The world around you is muffled by the thick blanket of snow. The only sounds are the crunch of your boots and the occasional howling wind. The landscape is a sea of white, broken only by the dark silhouettes of trees that seem to stand frozen, caught in the stillness of winter. The mountains loom in the distance, their peaks hidden in a swirling mist of snow and wind, a reminder of the relentless power of Tateyama. With each gust of wind, you feel the temperature drop even further, the cold cutting through every layer of clothing. It's a struggle to keep moving, but you can't stop. Here, nature's force demands respect, and stopping for even a moment could leave you vulnerable to the elements. The snow, once soft and inviting, has turned into a barrier, a wall that seems impossible to breach. Every task, no matter how simple it may seem in warmer months, becomes a grueling test of endurance. The workers who maintain the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route know this struggle all too well. As they clear paths through the snowdrifts, they work in teams, their breaths visible in the air, their faces shielded against the biting cold. They use specialized equipment to cut through the snow, but even the most advanced tools are no match for the sheer volume of snow that falls each year. At times, it feels as if the mountain is alive, shifting and rearranging its frozen surface with each snowstorm, testing the resolve of those who dare to carve a path through it. In this frozen world, survival is a collective effort. The local communities come together, relying on one another for warmth, supplies, and strength. Neighbors share food, exchange news, and help one another clear snow from rooftops or driveways. In a place like Tateyama, you quickly learn that survival isn't about individual strength alone. It's about working together, pooling resources, and finding creative solutions to the challenges that come with living in a place that seems so inhospitable. But despite the hardships, there is a quiet beauty in the winter landscape. The snow, while a challenge, is also a source of wonder. The world is transformed into something otherworldly, like stepping into a dream. The snow-laden trees stand like sentinels, their branches heavy with the weight of the winter. The sky, when visible, is a deep gray, casting an ethereal light over everything below. There's a stillness that settles over the land, as if time itself has slowed, and for a moment, all the chaos of life falls away, replaced by a profound silence that only the coldest of winters can bring. In Tateyama, winter is not just a season, it's a way of life, a constant reminder that nature is both beautiful and brutal. The people who call this place home have learned to respect its power, to adapt to its ever-changing moods, and to survive against the odds. For them, the arrival of winter is not a cause for despair, but a challenge to be met with determination and resilience. And in the end, it is this spirit, this unwavering will to survive in the face of nature's harshest trials, that makes Tateyama a place like no other. But even in the face of such overwhelming conditions, Tateyama's snow is a spectacle of its own, one of the most famous natural features of this region. As you make your way along the Alpine Route, you come to the Yuki no Otani, the famous snow corridor. This stretch of the route is where towering walls of snow, sometimes reaching 15 meters high, line the road. Standing there, it feels as if you've stepped into another world, one where snow rules and the cold is your constant companion. Imagine looking up at the sheer walls, the thick snow packed so densely it appears almost frozen in time. It's here that you realize the incredible force of nature as snowdrifts, sculpted by both wind and sheer volume, form giant barriers. These snow walls remain throughout the winter months, and it's an incredible sight to behold, especially when you consider how they're cleared and maintained by workers who brave the cold each day. As you walk through the corridor, you can feel the weight of the snow, the starkness of it all, as if the mountain has encased you in its frozen embrace. This snow corridor isn't just a marvel of nature, it's a symbol of human perseverance in the face of nature's most powerful forces. As you continue your walk through the Yuki no Otani, the air around you feels heavier, almost as if the snow itself is holding you in a quiet, frozen embrace. With each step, the walls of snow seem to grow taller, reaching heights that defy belief. You feel small in comparison, dwarfed by the magnitude of nature's creation. The walls are perfectly sculpted, shaped by the relentless wind and the sheer volume of snow that accumulates throughout the winter. It's as though the mountain itself has become a sculptor, molding the snow into towering fortresses that stretch endlessly along the road. You can't help but be in awe of the sheer scale of it all. The snow walls stretch for hundreds of meters, their crisp, white surfaces reflecting the pale winter sunlight, which struggles to break through the thick cloud cover. There is an eerie stillness to the place, as if the snow has frozen time itself. The only sound you hear is the crunch of your footsteps in the snow and the occasional whisper of the wind as it moves through the narrow corridor. It's a surreal experience, one that makes you feel both insignificant and awestruck at the same time. The workers who clear this snow are no strangers to this harsh environment. Each year, they face the daunting task of maintaining these snow walls, ensuring that the Alpine Route remains open and accessible. With specialized equipment, snow plows, bulldozers, and hand tools, they carve through the drifts, working tirelessly in the biting cold. It's a dangerous job, one that requires bravery and determination, but these workers approach it with the same resilience that defines life in Tateyama. They know the mountain's power, but they've learned to respect it, to work alongside it, rather than fight it. As you walk through the corridor, you can't help but marvel at the effort it takes to keep the route clear. The walls of snow are not just an accident of nature, they are the result of hard work and human ingenuity, shaped by the hands of those who refuse to let the mountain dictate the terms of their survival. You can feel the weight of the snow around you, not just physically, but symbolically. It is a testament to human perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. A reminder that even in the harshest of conditions, we find a way to endure. In a way, the snow corridor is a reflection of life in Tateyama itself. It is a place where nature's force is both feared and revered, where survival depends on working in harmony with the land. The snow, while a barrier, also becomes a path, a way forward, a symbol of the journey that must be taken, no matter how difficult it may seem. And as you walk through this frozen world, you realize that Tateyama's snow is not just a natural feature, it is a story, a living testament to the strength of both nature and humanity. It's a place where the struggle against the elements is not just about survival, but about finding beauty and meaning in the most extreme of circumstances. For those who live and work in Tateyama, the challenges of the winter conditions go far beyond just enduring the cold. Every aspect of life here is shaped by the environment. Houses are built with thick walls to retain warmth, and windows are small, sometimes covered to keep the inside temperature stable. People adapt to the elements in ways that would seem unimaginable to those who live in milder climates. And the snow, while beautiful, is always a reminder of the battle that must be fought to maintain the roads, keep the home safe, and ensure that the Alpine route remains passable. Imagine the workers, bundled in layers of thick wool and fur, braving the elements every day. Their hands are calloused from shoveling snow, their faces windburned from the sharp gusts that constantly assault them. And yet, there's a sense of quiet pride in their work. Without them, the routes would be impassable, and life in Tateyama would grind to a halt. Their daily struggle against the forces of nature is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Here, survival isn't just about enduring, it's about thriving amidst one of the harshest environments the world has to offer. As you watch these workers move through the snow, you can't help but notice their rhythm, a silent, unspoken determination that drives them forward even when the conditions seem unbearable. Their breath hangs in the cold air, visible as puffs of mist, yet they never pause. They are a part of the mountain now, their movements almost as natural as the falling snow. For them, survival isn't a mere battle against the elements. It's a deep understanding of their surroundings, a dance with the forces of nature they've mastered over time. The workers clear the roads with precision, their snow plows and tools cutting through the thick drifts. It's a relentless job, one that requires both physical strength and mental endurance. Imagine the freezing winds biting at their skin, the snow swirling around them, yet they push on, day after day, knowing that without their efforts, the roads would be impassable, the communities isolated. Their work is the lifeblood of Tateyama, keeping the connections between people, resources, and the outside world intact, even as the mountain tries to shut it all down. Every day is an ongoing battle not just to keep the roads clear, but to maintain some semblance of normalcy. Homes must be kept warm, food must be delivered, and life must continue, no matter how much the snow piles up. The local communities, too, play their part. The residents live with a constant awareness of the snow, always prepared for the next storm, always vigilant. The elders teach the younger generations how to deal with the snow, how to shovel, how to keep the house warm, how to protect themselves from the dangers of freezing temperatures and snowstorms. The houses here are designed with an intimacy to the environment, crafted to fight the cold with thick stone walls and small, heavy windows to keep the warmth in. There's an economy of space, a practicality in how everything is built, designed for the long winter months that dominate life in Tateyama. Stoves burn constantly, filling the homes with the comforting smell of burning wood, and the flicker of firelight offers warmth against the harsh, endless cold outside. It's not just about physical survival. There's also a quiet emotional resilience required. In Tateyama, winters are long, isolating, and unforgiving. The days are short, and the sun rarely peeks out from behind thick clouds. But even in the grayness, there's a community spirit that thrives. Neighbors help each other with shoveling, with gathering supplies, with checking on the elderly, ensuring everyone has enough food and warmth. In a place where isolation could easily lead to despair, The strength of the community keeps the spirit alive, reminding everyone that survival here is not just about the snow, it's about the bonds that hold the community together in the face of such adversity. In the evenings, after a long day of battling the elements, there is a quiet sense of accomplishment, even if only temporary. The roads are clear for another day. The homes are warm, and the mountain's forces have been held at bay for now. But the work continues, day after day. For in Tateyama, the challenge of survival is never truly over. It's a rhythm that becomes a part of your life, a constant reminder that thriving here means never taking the mountain's challenges lightly. You adapt, you persist, and, above all, you respect the mountain, knowing that your relationship with it is not one of conquest, but of coexistence. Here, in Tateyama, survival isn't just about enduring the cold. It's about learning to live in harmony with the forces that shape this place and finding beauty and purpose in the challenge. Through the resilience of its people, Tateyama proves that even in the most extreme conditions, there is always room for hope, for strength, and for the quiet satisfaction that comes from simply making it through another winter. As you settle into life in Tateyama, you quickly realize that surviving here isn't just about enduring the cold, it's about mastering it. The residents of this remote mountain region have adapted to the brutal winters in ways that seem unimaginable to those who live in milder climates. From the construction of their homes to the clothing they wear, everything is designed to keep the cold at bay. Imagine walking into one of these homes on a cold winter day. You immediately notice the thick walls made of wood, stone, and even straw materials designed to trap heat and keep the warmth inside. The homes here are built with insulation in mind, their roofs slanted steeply to shed the heavy snow that accumulates throughout the winter months. Windows are small, often covered with heavy curtains or shutters to prevent the cold air from sneaking in. Inside, you feel the warmth of a wood-burning stove, constantly feeding the fire that's essential for survival. When it comes to clothing, the residents are no less prepared. You can picture them bundled up in layers of thick wool and fur-lined hoods, with scarves wrapped tightly around their necks. Their clothing isn't just for comfort, it's a shield against the fierce cold. The layers of clothing trap heat close to the body, while the thick outer layers protect against the biting winds and snow. Boots made of leather or rubber, lined with thick fleece, keep their feet warm and dry as they navigate the deep snow. The clothing is as much a part of their survival strategy as any tool in their arsenal, ensuring that they can stay warm while enduring the relentless cold outside. And then there's the food. Storing provisions for the long winter is an art form here. You can imagine large root cellars dug deep into the earth, where vegetables, meats, and preserves are stored to last through the months of isolation. The cold temperatures outside help keep the food fresh, but the residents also use other methods of preservation, smoking, drying, and pickling, ensuring that their pantries are stocked with enough food to make it through even the most severe months. As winter sets in and the snow begins to pile up, the residents of Tateyama know that every meal is vital to their survival. Imagine the effort it takes to prepare for months of isolation. The shelves are stocked with jars of pickled vegetables, dried fish hanging from the ceiling, and meats carefully smoked or salted. These foods are not just a luxury, they are a necessity. The cold climate helps preserve everything, But it's the careful preparation that allows them to thrive during the long, dark months when fresh food is scarce. Foraging in the snow becomes an essential skill. You can picture the residents venturing into the surrounding forests, their boots crunching through the deep snow, searching for edible plants or mushrooms, which are then carefully preserved for later use. In some ways, their lives are a constant cycle of preparation, ensuring that they have everything they need to survive the coming months. At the same time, daily life in Tateyama requires constant maintenance and effort. Imagine waking up early each morning, before the sun even begins to rise, and immediately starting the work of surviving the day. The first task is always the same: shoveling the snow from the doorstep. The snow doesn't stop falling, and it never stays away for long. The process of clearing the path can take hours, as snowdrifts pile higher with every storm, and the cold seeps through the layers of clothing. Afterward, there's the task of tending to the wood stove. Keeping the fire alive is a full-time job in itself, as it's the only source of warmth for the home. Once the paths are cleared, the day's chores begin. You can picture residents walking carefully to the nearby market or community center, their heavy boots sinking into the deep snow with each step. Getting around isn't easy, and the snow slows down every movement. Some families use sleds or snowmobiles to help carry supplies, while others rely on old-fashioned methods like hauling carts through the thick snow. There's a rhythm to it all, one that has been honed over generations. In the evenings, after a long day of battling the elements, the residents gather together in their homes. You can picture the flickering light of a wood fire casting shadows on the walls as families share meals, talk about their day, and enjoy the warmth of each other's company. The air is filled with the smell of wood smoke and hearty stew, a comforting, familiar scent that has come to define life in Tateyama. The homes, with their thick walls and small windows, are insulated from the chaos outside, offering a place of refuge and warmth. Even with all these survival strategies, Tateyama's residents know that the winter months are a never-ending battle. But it's a battle they face with pride and resilience, knowing that each layer of clothing, each carefully built home, and each jar of preserved food is a piece of the puzzle that allows them to survive. Survival here is not just about enduring the cold, it's about embracing it, learning from it, and adapting to its challenges. Whether it's the homes they build, the clothes they wear, or the food they preserve, every aspect of life in Tateyama is a testament to human ingenuity and the unwavering will to thrive in the face of nature's harshest conditions. And as the snow continues to fall, the people of Tateyama carry on, knowing that with each passing day, they are not just surviving, they are living, adapting, and thriving in one of the harshest environments in the world. Now, picture yourself going about your daily life in Tateyama. Each task, no matter how simple, is a reminder of the extreme environment in which you live. Imagine stepping outside your home in the early morning, only to find the path to your door completely buried under feet of snow. You have to shovel your way out, clearing snow from your doorstep and driveway just to make sure you can walk to the road. And even after you've done that, you know the snow will pile up again, and you'll be back out there shoveling the next day. Commuting in Tateyama is another challenge, with snowdrifts often blocking roads and temperatures plummeting. Getting from one place to another requires careful planning. You can picture workers leaving early in the morning, bundled in layers of clothing, and trudging through snow-packed streets to get to their jobs. Some will travel by snowmobiles, others by specially designed vehicles built to handle the snow. But every trip requires effort and endurance. Even simple errands, like going to the local shop for supplies, become a major undertaking. The roads may be clear one day, but by the next, fresh snow may have covered them again, making transportation slow and difficult. Keeping your home maintained during these months is another constant challenge. The weight of the snow can cause roofs to sag or even collapse, so it's crucial to regularly clear the snow off. This requires climbing ladders, shoveling from rooftops, and ensuring that everything remains structurally sound. Pipes can freeze, windows can crack under the pressure of the cold, and the relentless winds may cause even the most secure homes to feel vulnerable. For the people of Tateyama, taking care of their homes is a never-ending task that requires vigilance and hard work. As you continue to go about your daily life in Tateyama, the constant vigilance required becomes more apparent. Imagine looking out from your small window after a long day of work and seeing the snow still falling heavily, the gusting wind howling as it whips the snow into a frenzy. The landscape outside is unrecognizable from one moment to the next. What was a clear path in the morning is now a wall of snow again, ready to bury everything under its icy weight. You step outside, the cold biting at your skin, and begin the process of clearing snow once again, this time from the roof. The sound of your shovel scraping against the snow is a familiar one, but it still feels like a daunting task. Climbing up ladders in the bitter cold, you work quickly, aware of how heavy the snow can become. A single layer of snow might seem light, but when it accumulates over days, it turns into a thick, heavy mass that could easily cause damage. As you clear the snow, your breath condenses in the freezing air, and your hands grow numb from the cold. But you press on, because you know that without this routine maintenance, the weight of the snow could crush the roof, leaving you exposed to the elements. Inside, you make sure the fire in the stove is well fed, its warmth the only thing keeping the bitter cold at bay. The stoves are always burning in Tateyama, whether for heating or cooking. They are the lifeblood of daily life. You've learned to keep a constant supply of firewood stacked near the stove, ready to feed the flames as soon as they start to die down. Keeping the house warm is not just a matter of comfort, it's a matter of survival. Without the heat, the pipes could freeze, and the house could quickly become uninhabitable. The cold creeps into every corner of life. You check the windows, making sure they are properly sealed, as the weight of the snow and the force of the wind can cause cracks. In the mornings, the chill from the walls is so deep that it feels like it's in your bones, and getting out of bed feels like a monumental task. The air is so dry, your skin cracks from the exposure, and every movement is slower, more deliberate, as you brace yourself against the cold. With all these challenges, even the most routine tasks, like going to the local shop for supplies, are fraught with difficulty. The store may be just a few kilometers away, but getting there is never straightforward. The roads, while cleared at one point, are soon reclaimed by fresh snow. You might find yourself trudging through the snow on foot, battling against the wind, your boots sinking deep into the drifts with each step. Vehicles designed to traverse such terrain move slowly, often stuck in the snow themselves, making travel an uncertain and slow process. Even with snowmobiles or specially designed vehicles, the journey feels like a battle against the landscape, each movement through the snow more exhausting than the last. After completing these daily tasks, there's still the constant task of checking on neighbors and friends. In Tateyama, community is everything. If the snow gets too high, it's not just about your own house, it's about making sure others are okay too. Sometimes, after shoveling your own path, you grab your shovel and head over to help a neighbor clear their way, checking to see if anyone needs supplies or assistance. It's a bond forged in the cold, a recognition that survival here isn't just an individual effort. In Tateyama, people help one another because they know that together they can face the relentless winter and its trials. But even with all the physical challenges, there's a quiet comfort that comes from the daily routine. There's something almost meditative in the rhythm of the work, the constant shoveling, the careful tending to the fire, the shared meals, and the strong community bonds. In a place like Tateyama, survival is about more than just overcoming the physical conditions. It's about adapting to the cold and finding a way to thrive within it. Each day, despite the struggle, brings its own small victories: the path cleared, the house warm, the community safe. And as the snow continues to fall, life goes on in Tateyama, a place where the relentless cold demands respect, but also teaches resilience, determination, and the power of human connection. In this harsh environment, one lifeline stands out: the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route. This road, cutting through the heart of the mountain range, connects different regions and provides a crucial link for the people who live in the isolated communities of Tateyama. Imagine it: a winding, rugged route that traverses deep valleys, crosses bridges suspended high above the landscape, and winds through tunnels carved into the very heart of the mountain. The Alpine Route serves as a connection to the outside world, allowing for the transportation of goods, food, and people, despite the snow and the cold. The Alpine Route isn't just a marvel of engineering, it's a lifeline. It's the path that keeps the communities in Tateyama connected, even during the most extreme winter months when roads are impassable. When the snow piles up and the cold is relentless, this route is the only way in or out. Workers clear it daily, using specialized vehicles to plow the snow and keep it navigable. Without it, the people in these mountain communities would be cut off from the rest of the world, unable to get supplies or communicate with other areas. During the winter, the Alpine Route is particularly important. You can imagine it: snowplows slowly cutting through the drifts, leaving a narrow path that slowly opens up, section by section. The vehicles travel at a slow pace, making sure the road stays clear and passable for both locals and tourists. Without the Alpine Route, survival in Tateyama would be far more difficult, and the isolation would feel almost suffocating. It is, without a doubt, one of the most crucial parts of life in this extreme environment, allowing the people to continue their work, their commerce, and their lives despite the harsh conditions surrounding them. As you imagine traveling along the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, you can almost feel the weight of the snow surrounding you, the deep silence punctuated only by the hum of the snowplows and the occasional gust of wind. The route, while an engineering marvel, is also a symbol of human perseverance. It is not just about traversing the mountains for convenience. It is a lifeline for survival. The path winds through some of the most remote and rugged terrain, linking communities that would otherwise be isolated from the rest of Japan. In the dead of winter, the work to maintain the Alpine Route becomes more intense. Snowplows and bulldozers rumble through the thick drifts, their engines roaring against the backdrop of the howling wind. The workers who brave these harsh conditions are often the unsung heroes of Tateyama. Their job isn't glamorous, but without them, the snow would soon overwhelm the region. Each day, they clear a little more of the path, ensuring that the route remains open and that the vital flow of goods, food, medicine, fuel keeps coming in. Without this route, the sense of isolation would become suffocating. Life in Tateyama depends on the constant movement of people and supplies. In a place where every day is a battle against the cold, the Alpine route is what keeps the residents connected to the outside world. It brings in the resources needed for survival, and it also allows people to leave, should they need to visit family, seek medical treatment, or simply escape the crushing isolation of the winter months. During the darkest days, the Alpine route also serves as a reminder that no matter how extreme the weather, the people of Tateyama are never truly cut off. They are connected by this narrow, vital passageway to the wider world. For the tourists who visit Tateyama, the Alpine route offers a unique opportunity to witness the stunning beauty of the mountains from a perspective few others will ever experience. You can imagine yourself riding in a cable car, slowly ascending above the snow-covered landscape, the towering peaks looming in the distance. As you glide over the snowy expanse, you are reminded of the immense power and beauty of nature, but also of the ingenuity and resilience that enables humans to live in such extreme conditions. But it's not just about beauty or tourism. For the people who live and work here, the Alpine route is the artery that keeps the heart of Tateyama beating. Whether it's the winter months, when every inch of the route is a battle against the snow, or the summer, when tourists come to see the snow walls and stunning scenery, the route is crucial to the flow of life in the region. It's not just about getting from one place to another. It's about maintaining the lifeblood of the community, the infrastructure that allows people to continue their daily lives despite the constant challenges of their environment. Every plow, every shovel of snow removed, and every moment spent clearing the route is a testament to the dedication of those who refuse to let Tateyama be consumed by the harshness of its environment. The Alpine route is more than just a road. It's a bridge between survival and isolation, a path carved through the mountains that connects the people of Tateyama to the rest of the world. It stands as a reminder that even in the face of nature's fiercest challenges, the human spirit remains indomitable, and that connection, whether to each other or the world beyond, is always worth the fight. In Tateyama, life is a delicate balance between human determination and the relentless forces of nature. Every task, every journey, every interaction with the mountain is shaped by the environment. The residents, workers, and even the visitors to this region learn to live in harmony with the snow, the cold, and the mountains. They know that survival here isn't about conquering the environment. It's about adapting, respecting, and working alongside nature to ensure that life continues. And as the winter months drag on, the people of Tateyama continue their daily routines. Their routines shaped by a deep respect for the land and the weather, finding ways to thrive in one of the harshest climates in the world. In Tateyama, every day brings a new challenge, but it also brings a sense of quiet triumph over the elements. The residents, having grown accustomed to the mountain's moods, approach each task with a calm determination. Whether it's clearing snow from their doorsteps or tending to their wood stoves, Each action is a conscious effort to live in harmony with the land they've learned to love and respect. There's no rush, no frantic urgency to conquer the mountain. Instead, there's a rhythm to life here, an unspoken understanding that the snow, the cold, and the wind are not enemies to fight against, but forces to respect and work with. As the snow continues to fall, the rhythm of life in Tateyama never stops. You can picture the workers and residents waking before dawn, preparing for the long day ahead. In a place where the sun rises late and sets early, they rely on the light of their stoves and lanterns to start their day. The early hours are spent checking homes, making sure the fires are burning, the pathways are clear, and the supplies are in order. The work, though grueling, becomes second nature. Shoveling snow, maintaining roofs, ensuring food is properly stored. These are not tasks that are done begrudgingly, but with the quiet assurance that each one is a necessary step in maintaining the balance between human life and the forces of nature. The colder months, when the snow falls heavily and the winds howl through the valleys, might seem like an unending struggle. But there's a beauty in the persistence, a satisfaction in knowing that, despite the challenges, life continues. You can imagine the snowplows making their way along the Alpine Route, their engines cutting through the silence, working tirelessly to ensure that the path remains open for both locals and visitors. The snow is cleared, the roads are maintained, and life in Tateyama moves forward. But the winter months are also a time for reflection. Inside the homes, with the warmth of the stove crackling, families gather. The long nights allow for moments of stillness, where time slows and the outside world seems far away. Stories are shared, food is passed around, and there's a deep sense of connection both to the land and to one another. In these moments, the mountain's harshness fades away, replaced by a deep sense of belonging. The cold, which once felt all-consuming, now feels like a companion, something that shapes the lives of those who call Tateyama home. For those who come to visit, Tateyama's beauty is awe-inspiring. But for the residents, it's something more. It's a place that tests their resolve, pushes them to their limits, but also teaches them the importance of patience, respect, and community. The challenges they face are not obstacles to overcome, but parts of a life that they have learned to embrace, living in constant balance with nature. And as the snow continues to fall, the residents of Tateyama continue to live with the mountain not as conquerors, but as stewards of its immense, untamed beauty. They've learned to adapt, respect, and thrive, finding a sense of peace amidst the storm. As you set foot on the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, you can't help but marvel at the complexity and ingenuity behind it. Spanning a total of 2 kilometers, this route cuts through the heart of the Japanese Alps, offering travelers access to one of the most remote and awe-inspiring regions of Japan. The route is an intricate network of tunnels, cable cars, buses, and trains, each section carefully designed to navigate the mountainous terrain, ensuring that people and goods can pass through despite the natural barriers of snow, ice, and steep inclines. Imagine starting your journey on a cable car, suspended high above the snow-covered landscape, with breathtaking views of the towering peaks and deep valleys below. The cable cars glide effortlessly over the snow, taking you from one side of the mountain to the other. Then, as the journey continues, you switch to buses or trains that run along the route, each offering a different perspective of the towering snow walls that line the path during the winter months. Whether you are traveling in the summer or winter, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route offers an unparalleled experience, a link between the isolated mountain communities and the rest of the world. As you set foot on the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, you can't help but marvel at the complexity and ingenuity behind it. Spanning 37.2 kilometers, this route carves through the heart of the Japanese Alps, offering you access to one of the most remote and awe-inspiring regions of Japan. The route is an intricate network of tunnels, cable cars, buses, and trains, each section carefully designed to navigate the mountainous terrain, ensuring that both people and goods can pass through despite the natural barriers of snow, ice, and steep inclines. Picture yourself stepping into a cable car, the air crisp and cool, your heart racing with excitement. As the cable car begins its ascent, you're suspended high above the snow-covered landscape, with breathtaking views of the towering peaks and deep valleys below. The mountains, majestic and imposing, stretch out endlessly, their snow-capped summits glistening in the sunlight. The feeling of soaring above it all, surrounded by a sea of white, is unlike anything you've experienced. You glide effortlessly over the pristine snow, the world below seeming to fade away as the cable car takes you from one side of the mountain to the other. As the journey continues, you find yourself switching to buses or trains, each mode of transport offering a unique perspective of the landscape. The bus winds through narrow mountain roads, its tires crunching through the snow as you pass towering snow walls that rise high on either side. These walls, packed tightly by the force of nature, stand as silent sentinels, a constant reminder of the harsh conditions this route overcomes. The train, on the other hand, runs along tracks carved deep into the mountainside, taking you through tunnels that cut straight through the rock, offering a new and intimate view of the mountain's inner workings. Whether you are traveling in the summer, when the alpine flora is in full bloom, or in the winter, when the landscape is covered in thick layers of snow, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route offers you an unparalleled experience. It is more than just a road. It's a link between the isolated mountain communities and the outside world, making the seemingly impossible possible. The route is not only a way to reach this breathtaking region, but it also serves as a lifeline for those who live and work in these remote areas. It brings supplies, connects people to essential services, and allows visitors to experience one of Japan's most beautiful and awe-inspiring landscapes. As you travel along the route, you realize how much effort goes into maintaining this connection. The cable cars, buses, and trains are more than just modes of transportation. They are lifelines in a region where nature can be both breathtaking and unforgiving. With each passing mile, you can feel the mountain's power and beauty, but you also feel a deep respect for the ingenuity and determination that make this route and the communities it connects possible. Traveling through Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route is no simple feat, especially during the harsh winter months. As you imagine yourself traveling along the route, the challenges become evident. The snow and ice that cover the mountainsides can obstruct the path, making it difficult to clear the way. Strong winds and heavy snowfall often complicate matters, requiring constant maintenance of the route to ensure it remains passable. Snowplows and specialized vehicles are used to keep the roads clear, but even with the most advanced technology, progress is slow. Workers are out every day, battling the elements to ensure that travelers and goods can make it through safely. You can picture the buses navigating the winding roads, the tires gripping the icy surface as they carefully make their way up the mountain. The trains must pass through tunnels carved deep into the mountain, and even these are sometimes blocked by the sheer amount of snow. Despite the difficulties, the route remains operational, a testament to the determination and expertise of the workers who maintain it. The weather is a constant challenge, but the importance of keeping the route open is unquestionable. Despite all these challenges, the route remains operational, a testament to the workers' resilience and determination. The snow may pile up, the winds may howl, and the temperatures may drop to unbearable lows, but the route persists. Each morning, as the workers don their heavy layers and step into the cold, they know the importance of their task. They clear paths not just for themselves but for the entire community. It's an effort that requires patience, skill, and, above all, an unwavering commitment to keeping life in Tateyama moving forward. Without the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, the communities in the region would be isolated, cut off from essential supplies and the outside world. The route is more than just a connection. It is the lifeline that allows these remote communities to continue surviving, even when the world beyond the mountains feels unreachable. And yet, for all its importance, the route remains vulnerable to nature's whims. Every year, it faces new challenges, but through the constant effort of workers and the ingenuity of the Alpine Route's design, it remains a symbol of human perseverance against nature's fiercest forces. The route isn't just vital for transporting goods, it's also an essential lifeline for medical emergencies. In a place where isolation can stretch for miles, the ability to quickly access health care or send out urgent supplies could mean the difference between life and death. As you imagine the people who rely on the Alpine Route, you realize how integral it is to the community's survival. It's the connection between family members, between workers, between the residents of Tateyama and the rest of the world. So, when you think about the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, it's not just a marvel of engineering or a scenic path to be enjoyed by tourists. It's the thread that ties Tateyama together. It's a reminder of how, even in the most extreme environments, human determination and ingenuity can create pathways that make survival possible. The challenges are constant, but the route endures, carrying the hopes and efforts of everyone who depends on it. In Tateyama, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route is more than just a scenic tourist attraction. It is a lifeline for the people who live here. The route plays a critical role in ensuring that essential supplies such as food, medicine, and fuel can reach the isolated communities, especially during the severe winters when other access points are often blocked by snow. The Alpine Route is the only viable way to transport goods into these mountain villages, and without it, life in Tateyama would be much more difficult, if not impossible. Imagine the workers and residents of Tateyama, depending on the route for everything from food deliveries to medical supplies. When the weather becomes too harsh and the roads to the surrounding areas are closed, the Alpine Route remains the only passage through the mountain, ensuring that life continues. During the winter, the route becomes even more critical, as the snow can prevent trucks and other vehicles from reaching the communities. Without this lifeline, the people living in Tateyama would be cut off from the outside world, relying solely on what they've stored or grown during the previous months. As you imagine life without the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, the isolation becomes even more apparent. When snowstorms rage and the roads leading into the region are completely buried, the route remains the only way to keep the communities in Tateyama connected to the outside world. In those harsh winter months, the Alpine Route is more than a passageway. It's a critical lifeline, ensuring that essential goods like food, medicine, and fuel continue to flow into the region. You can picture the workers bundled in their winter gear, operating snowplows and other specialized vehicles, carefully clearing the path to ensure the route remains passable. These workers are the silent warriors of Tateyama, their efforts often going unnoticed by those who only visit the region for its beauty. But for the residents who live here year-round, their work is a lifeline, keeping the communities from being cut off entirely during the brutal winter months. Imagine the feeling of relief as the snowplows clear a section of the route. For the residents, it's a signal that the essential supplies like fresh food, medicine, and even mail are on their way. The Alpine Route serves as a bridge to the world outside, a constant reminder that no matter how fierce the weather, there is a way to keep life moving forward. The thought of being cut off from the world, reliant only on what's stored or grown, is enough to make anyone understand how crucial the Alpine Route truly is. But the importance of the route doesn't stop at simply delivering goods. It's also a symbol of survival for the communities in Tateyama. With the threat of isolation always looming, the route is the only reliable way to bring in the help and resources that may be needed during emergencies, be it medical supplies, replacement parts for equipment, or even rescuers in the event of a snowstorm. Without this route, the isolation would feel overwhelming. It's not just about surviving the cold and snow, it's about maintaining connections to the outside world, ensuring that no matter how severe the conditions get, there is always a way for help to reach those in need. During the winter, when the route is covered by heavy snow and ice, workers continuously fight against the elements to keep it clear, ensuring that the flow of goods and services never truly stops. And for the residents of Tateyama, who depend on this route for their very survival, this effort is a daily reminder that despite the challenges posed by nature, humanity's resilience will always find a way. The Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route is more than just a means of transportation. It is the heart of the community, a crucial pathway that sustains life and keeps the spirit of Tateyama alive in the face of extreme isolation and unforgiving conditions. Beyond its role in survival, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route also provides a much-needed connection to the rest of Japan. The route links Tateyama with the larger cities, allowing tourists to visit this remote area and experience the mountain's breathtaking beauty. For the residents, however, the route is vital for much more than tourism. It allows them to access medical care, maintain business connections, and receive emergency supplies when needed. You can picture the sense of relief the locals must feel when the route remains open, when the road is cleared of snow, and transportation is once again possible. It's a symbol of hope, a reminder that despite the relentless challenges posed by nature, there is a way through. The Alpine Route is not just a path across a mountain range. It is the thread that weaves the fabric of life in Tateyama together, providing the people with a way to survive and connect to the outside world, no matter how harsh the conditions may become. As you stand on the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, you can feel the significance of the route extending beyond its role as a mere passageway. It's a connection to the larger world. It is the link that ties Tateyama to the broader regions of Japan, allowing tourists to experience its natural beauty and for the local communities to remain part of the national fabric, despite their remote location. During the warmer months, visitors come from far and wide to witness the awe-inspiring snow corridors, the majestic views of the Alps, and the quiet peace of the mountain environment. For them, the route is a means of discovering a piece of Japan that is untouched by the crowds in the cities. But for the residents of Tateyama, the route's significance goes far beyond tourism. It becomes a lifeline for their daily needs. The Alpine route is the only reliable way to bring in essential services like medical supplies, fresh food, and emergency assistance. For many living in this remote region, it's not just a scenic route, it's the only way to access the outside world. You can imagine how crucial this is when unforeseen events strike, like a medical emergency or the need for urgent supplies during winter. Without this connection, residents would be left vulnerable, relying only on what they've stored or can grow themselves. The Alpine route is the last thread connecting them to the rest of Japan. And when the route is open, there's a palpable sense of relief among the locals. It's not just about the convenience of travel, it's about knowing that when things go wrong, help is available. When the snow is cleared and the road is passable, there's a renewal of hope, a feeling that the isolation is temporary and that life will continue to flow as it should. The sight of snowplows clearing the road or the sound of the train rumbling through the mountains serves as a reassurance to the residents that they are not alone. The Alpine route becomes a symbol of resilience and a reminder that despite the harsh conditions, survival is possible and connection with the outside world remains intact. In a way, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route is a metaphor for life in Tateyama itself, challenging, unpredictable, and demanding, but ultimately a vital link that keeps the community connected and thriving. For the residents, the route is not just a physical path. It's a symbol of the enduring human spirit and the need for connection. No matter how much the snow piles up, how severe the winter becomes, the route stands as a testament to the determination of those who maintain it and those who rely on it. It is not just about conquering nature, it's about learning to live with it, adapt, and continue to find ways to thrive, even in the most extreme conditions. When the Alpine route is cleared and operational, there's an undeniable sense of community renewal. Residents go about their daily tasks with newfound ease, knowing that vital resources are on their way. Supplies, often stored for months, are restocked with fresh food, medical supplies, and necessary tools. The relief of having access to the outside world, even in small but meaningful ways, provides a psychological boost for the people of Tateyama. It's not just the practical aspect of receiving goods, it's the knowledge that they aren't isolated in their struggle against nature, that there is always the possibility of reconnection, no matter how severe the storm. For the workers who maintain the route, their role becomes a moral duty. Each snowplow cleared, every inch of road made passable, is not just a job. It's a way of ensuring that the lifeblood of Tateyama continues to flow. When they see the road clear and the trains and buses start moving again, they know they are making an essential contribution to the survival of the region. Their tireless efforts in the face of dangerous weather conditions provide a sense of accomplishment, not just for themselves, but for the entire community. Every plow that cuts through the snow is a tangible reminder that their work matters, that their efforts sustain the very fabric of life in the region. But the significance of the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route extends beyond the resilience of the workers and the relief felt by the locals. It is a reminder that no place, no matter how remote, should be forgotten or left behind. The route becomes a symbol of the delicate balance between human perseverance and the forces of nature. It demonstrates that even in the harshest of climates, communities can thrive and connect as long as there is a pathway forward. For the visitors who experience the route's beauty, they too become part of Tateyama's story. They see not only the stunning snow walls and vast mountainscapes, but they also glimpse the strength of the people who call this place home. The Alpine Route offers them the opportunity to witness a way of life that few others get to experience, one where survival and connection to the land are intertwined in ways that demand respect. And as they make their way through this breathtaking landscape, they leave with a deeper understanding of how vital connections are, not just for exploration, but for life itself. For the people of Tateyama, the Alpine Route is not just a road, it's a lifeline, a reminder that even in the face of nature's greatest challenges, there is always a way through. Whether it's the daily journey to and from work, the delivery of much-needed supplies, or the connection to the larger world, this route ensures that life goes on, that community thrives, and that hope never fades. Even when the snow falls thick and fast, and the mountains seem insurmountable, the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route offers a path forward. Imagine stepping out into the unforgiving cold, the air so sharp it feels like a needle on your skin. For the workers who maintain the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, this is an everyday reality. You can picture them bundled up in layers of thick clothing, their faces wind-burned from hours of exposure to the elements, their hands calloused from the constant task of shoveling and clearing snow. The snow plows they operate aren't just vehicles, they are lifelines. Every day, they carve paths through heavy snowdrifts that can reach meters high, battling against strong winds and below freezing temperatures to ensure that the route remains open for both the local community and visitors. The workers don't just deal with the harsh weather, they embrace it. They work long, grueling hours in the freezing cold, often beginning before dawn and finishing well after sunset. The roads are narrow, and the snow is relentless, but still, they push forward, their focus unwavering. You can imagine them shoveling snow off roads by hand when machines can't reach the more confined areas, all while surrounded by towering snow walls. Their work is hard, repetitive, and often unrecognized by the outside world, but they understand its critical importance to the survival of the region. Without them, the route would be impassable, and the mountain communities would be isolated, vulnerable to the elements. Their dedication is not just to the task at hand, but to the people who rely on them for connection and survival. As you continue to picture their daily routine, you can sense the quiet determination in their every movement. The snow falls constantly, but these workers don't stop. They've learned to respect the power of nature and adapt to it, using everything they've got to ensure that their work gets done, no matter the cost. With the hum of the snowplows and the sound of their boots crunching through the fresh snow, they continue clearing, inch by inch, knowing that the route they maintain is the only lifeline to the outside world for the mountain communities. The work doesn't get easier, even as the hours stretch on. The snow piles higher, the winds grow colder, and the temperature drops lower, but still, they press forward. You can see the snowplows, battered and worn by the harsh conditions, pushing through the snow-covered roads. They cut through drifts so thick that it feels as though the world around them is slowly being swallowed by the snow. And yet, each day, they return to the mountain, their focus unwavering, their commitment unshaken. The relentless nature of winter becomes almost a companion to them, a challenge to overcome, not an enemy to be defeated. The toll on their bodies is evident: hands raw from constant exposure to the cold, faces marked by windburn, and muscles sore from endless shoveling and operating machinery. But despite the physical exhaustion, there's a sense of pride in what they do. They know that without their efforts, the communities of Tateyama would be cut off, isolated, and vulnerable to the dangers of the extreme weather. Their work isn't just about keeping the road clear, it's about keeping the heartbeat of the region alive, about ensuring that people can reach one another and the supplies needed to survive the harsh winter months. In the evenings, as the workers head home after long hours on the route, you can imagine the quiet relief they feel, knowing they've completed another day of essential work. The satisfaction isn't in recognition or reward, but in the knowledge that the route remains open, that the people depending on them won't face the overwhelming isolation that would come without it. Their efforts are a silent commitment, one that keeps the pulse of Tateyama alive. And as the snow continues to fall outside, life in Tateyama doesn't stop. The work, though grueling, ensures that the community can thrive, survive, and remain connected. For the workers of the Alpine Route, every flake of snow, every gust of wind, is a reminder of the resilience they embody. The mountain may be unforgiving, but so too is their resolve. It is through their dedication, through their unwavering effort, that the people of Tateyama can keep going, year after year, no matter how severe the weather may become. Imagine stepping out into the unforgiving cold, the air so sharp it feels like a needle on your skin. For the workers who maintain the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route, this is an everyday reality. You can picture them bundled up in layers of thick clothing, their faces windburned from hours of exposure to the elements, their hands calloused from the constant task of shoveling and clearing snow. The snowplows they operate aren't just vehicles, they are lifelines. Every day, they carve paths through heavy snowdrifts that can reach meters high, battling against strong winds and below freezing temperatures to ensure that the route remains open for both the local community and visitors. The workers don't just deal with the harsh weather, they embrace it. They work long, grueling hours in the freezing cold, often beginning before dawn and finishing well after sunset. The roads are narrow and the snow is relentless, but still they push forward, their focus unwavering. You can imagine them shoveling snow off roads by hand when machines can't reach the more confined areas, all while surrounded by towering snow walls. Their work is hard, repetitive, and often unrecognized by the outside world, but they understand its critical importance to the survival of the region. Without them, the route would be impassable, and the mountain communities would be isolated, vulnerable to the elements. Their dedication is not just to the task at hand, but to the people who rely on them for connection and survival. As you continue to picture their daily routine, you can sense the quiet determination in their every movement. The snow falls constantly, but these workers don't stop. They've learned to respect the power of nature and adapt to it, using everything they've got to ensure that their work gets done, no matter the cost. With the hum of the snowplows and the sound of their boots crunching through the fresh snow, they continue clearing inch by inch, knowing that the route they maintain is the only lifeline to the outside world for the mountain communities. The work doesn't get easier, even as the hours stretch on. The snow piles higher, the winds grow colder, and the temperature drops lower, but still they press forward. You can see the snowplows, battered and worn by the harsh conditions, pushing through the snow-covered roads. They cut through drifts so thick that it feels as though the world around them is slowly being swallowed by the snow. And yet each day they return to the mountain, their focus unwavering, their commitment unshaken. The relentless nature of winter becomes almost a companion to them, a challenge to overcome, not an enemy to be defeated. The toll on their bodies is evident, hands raw from constant exposure to the cold, faces marked by windburn, and muscles sore from endless shoveling and operating machinery. But despite the physical exhaustion, there's a sense of pride in what they do. They know that without their efforts, the communities of Tateyama would be cut off, isolated, and vulnerable to the dangers of the extreme weather. Their work isn't just about keeping the road clear, it's about keeping the heartbeat of the region alive, about ensuring that people can reach one another and the supplies needed to survive the harsh winter months. In the evenings, as the workers head home after long hours on the route, you can imagine the quiet relief they feel, knowing they've completed another day of essential work. The satisfaction isn't in recognition or reward, but in the knowledge that the route remains open, that the people depending on them won't face the overwhelming isolation that would come without it. Their efforts are a silent commitment, one that keeps the pulse of Tateyama alive. And as the snow continues to fall outside, life in Tateyama doesn't stop. The work, though grueling, ensures that the community can thrive, survive, and remain connected. For the workers of the Alpine Route, every flake of snow, every gust of wind, is a reminder of the resilience they embody. The mountain may be unforgiving, but so too is their resolve. It is through their dedication, through their unwavering effort, that the people of Tateyama can keep going. Year after year, no matter how severe the weather may become. In Tateyama, the winters can be long and isolating, but they also foster a unique sense of community. When the snow starts to fall and the weather worsens, the locals know they must rely on each other more than ever. You can picture the residents, with snow piled high outside their homes, coming together to share resources, food, and labor. They check in on one another, especially the elderly and those with young children, making sure everyone has what they need to survive. In a place where isolation is a constant threat, community is everything. Imagine neighbors helping each other clear paths to their homes, offering a helping hand when someone's snowplow breaks down, or shoveling snow from the roof of a neighbor's house to prevent collapse. It's a culture of mutual aid, where no one is left to face the harsh winter alone. You can picture people sharing a warm meal at the end of a long day, swapping stories by the fire, and lending a listening ear to one another. The emotional toll of the winter months can be as harsh as the physical conditions, but the support of the community helps everyone push through. They know that survival isn't just about enduring the cold, it's about being there for each other when the snow piles up and the isolation feels overwhelming. As the days grow shorter and the nights longer, the warmth of the community becomes even more vital. Imagine walking through the village, the quiet broken only by the sound of snow crunching beneath boots and the distant hum of snowplows clearing the roads. The harsh winds howl around the corners of homes, but inside, there's a sense of comfort and togetherness that the cold can't touch. Neighbors know that no matter how severe the winter becomes, they are never truly alone. The shared experience of facing the challenges of the season forms a bond that goes beyond simple friendship. It's a bond of mutual survival. When a snowstorm traps one family in their home, it's the neighbors who arrive to help. You can picture someone trudging through the deep snow, carrying extra firewood or bags of food, determined to ensure that no one goes without. If a roof is at risk of collapse under the weight of the snow, a group of neighbors will gather to clear it together, working side by side, laughing and joking despite the cold. These acts of kindness, simple as they may seem, are lifelines, proof that the strength of community is far more powerful than the challenges nature can throw their way. At the end of the day, when the chores are done and the snow has been cleared, you can imagine the gathering places where families and friends come together for warmth. Whether it's a small community center or someone's home, the shared meals and stories become a form of therapy, a way to ease the emotional weight of the isolation. Hot food, shared laughter, and familiar faces provide a moment of respite from the cold, a reminder that survival isn't just about physical endurance. It's also about mental fortitude, about finding joy in the little things, even in the face of adversity. As the winter months stretch on, you realize that the emotional toll of living in Tateyama is as heavy as the physical demands. But it's this sense of community that helps everyone endure. It's not just about surviving the cold, it's about thriving together. In the darkest hours of winter, when the snow piles high and the world feels small and distant, the people of Tateyama lean on one another. They share the burden, lift each other's spirits, and create a sense of belonging that no storm can erase. And when the snow finally begins to melt and the warmth of spring returns, there is a quiet pride in knowing that they made it through another season together. They know that no matter how long the winter or how fierce the storms, they will always have each other. The resilience of the community in Tateyama is not just about the ability to survive the cold, it's about the ability to live in the cold, to find warmth in each other's company, and to face the harshest conditions with strength, unity, and heart. As you imagine life in Tateyama, you can picture the countless survival stories that have unfolded here, each one a testament to human resilience and perseverance. In the dead of winter, when the snow drifts higher than your head, imagine a small family living in a cabin high on the mountain. One night, a storm blows in unexpectedly, cutting them off from the rest of the world. The snow falls fast, and by morning, their only path to the outside is buried. Their supplies, though carefully stored, are running low. With the weather too severe to travel, they have no choice but to hunker down, relying on their preparation, their ingenuity, and their strength to survive. Picture the father of the family going out early each morning to shovel snow from their door, the snow reaching his chest as he clears a path to the outside world. Inside, the mother keeps the fire burning, using what little firewood they have left to keep the family warm. The children, bundled in layers, help with chores and keep each other entertained, knowing that they must stay strong and keep their spirits high. Days stretch into weeks, and still, the storm shows no signs of letting up. But the family perseveres, relying on the food they've preserved and the warmth of their home to see them through. In another story, you can imagine a group of workers who are tasked with maintaining the Tateyama Kurobe Alpine Route during a particularly brutal winter. The snow is so deep that it takes hours just to reach the snowplows, and when they do, the machines struggle to clear even a small section of road. Yet, despite the exhaustion, despite the biting cold, they press on. One of the workers, an older man who has worked on the route for years, tells his younger colleagues that this is just part of life in Tateyama. It's always been this way, and it always will be. He shares stories of past winters, of times when snowdrifts blocked the road for weeks at a time, but people still manage to get by. It's not about the snow, he says. It's about how we handle it. Together, we get through it. As the older workers' words echo in the cold mountain air, the younger crew members understand the deeper lesson he's imparting. Survival in Tateyama is not just about battling the elements. It's about adapting, persevering, and, above all, working together. The snow may be endless, the cold biting, but there is a unique strength in this community, a resilience that comes from knowing they are not alone, that together they can face the worst winter has to offer. One particularly brutal morning, you can imagine the workers arriving at the site, their breath visible in the air as they huddle together for warmth before starting their day. The snow has piled up so high that even the snowplows seem insignificant against the sheer volume. It's a slow, grueling battle, and as they shovel and clear the snow, they exchange stories, moments of relief amid the harshness. One worker, younger and newly assigned to the crew, asks, "How do you keep going, day after day, with all this snow?" The older man, his weathered face lined with years of hard labor, looks at him and smiles. "You just do. And you do it because we all rely on each other. That's what keeps us moving." And, despite the exhaustion and the relentless snow, they work tirelessly, knowing that the Alpine route must be maintained. Lives depend on it. Supplies must continue to reach the isolated mountain villages. And for the residents, the Alpine route is the only link to the outside world. As the snowplows push through the thick drifts, clearing just enough space for the buses, trains, and vehicles to pass, you feel the immense satisfaction in the workers' hearts. Every inch of cleared road is an achievement, a victory over nature, and a step closer to ensuring that the people of Tateyama continue to survive and thrive in the harshest of conditions. As the days pass and the storm gradually begins to subside, the workers can sense the shift in the atmosphere. It's as if nature itself is acknowledging their efforts. The road, though still narrow, is cleared enough to allow passage, and the feeling of accomplishment is palpable. There's no celebration, no cheering, just a quiet understanding that the job is done for today. The workers head back to their homes, the weight of the snow lessening with every step. But the spirit of perseverance lingers in the air, a reminder that survival in Tateyama is built on hard work, unity, and the unwavering resolve to face the elements head-on. And for the family in the cabin, the storm, though fierce, finally begins to let up. After weeks of hunkering down, relying on their preparations and each other, they see the first glimpse of sunshine breaking through the clouds. The snowdrifts still tower around them, but the worst is over. The father steps outside, his breath fogging in the cold air as he looks around at the cleared path. It's a moment of quiet triumph. The road is open once again, not just because nature has relented, but because they survived. They were tested, and they endured together. They know that the mountain will always present challenges, but there's a deep pride in knowing that with strength and solidarity, they will always find a way to push through, no matter how harsh the next storm may be. In both stories, you see the core of life in Tateyama, a story of resilience, community, and survival. Whether it's a family enduring a brutal winter storm or workers battling to keep the Alpine route open, the people of Tateyama face adversity not as individuals, but as a united community. Their strength lies not only in their ability to survive, but in their unwavering commitment to each other. They know that, no matter how fierce the storm or how deep the snow, they will always endure together. Through the hard work of the Tateyama workers and the constant support of the local community, life continues in one of the harshest environments imaginable. It's not just about surviving the cold, it's about thriving in spite of it. The people of Tateyama understand that nature can be brutal, but it can also be beautiful, and they have learned to respect both sides. Each snowstorm, each frozen morning, is a reminder that resilience is key. The mountains may be imposing, and the snow may be relentless, but the people who live and work here are equally strong. Their resilience is what holds the community together, year after year, winter after winter, ensuring that even in the most extreme conditions, life continues to flourish. The resilience of the people in Tateyama is not just a matter of survival, it's a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of nature's most daunting challenges. Every winter, when the snow falls thick and fast, the people here don't just endure, they adapt, innovate, and thrive. They've learned to live in harmony with the mountain, understanding that it can be both a fierce adversary and a source of unparalleled beauty. The towering peaks, covered in layers of snow, are a constant reminder that life in Tateyama is not for the faint of heart, but for those who are willing to embrace both the hardship and the awe it brings. The workers, day in and day out, continue to fight the relentless snow, carving paths through the drifts and maintaining the Alpine route, which becomes even more critical as winter sets in. Their determination, their quiet pride in keeping the roads clear, and their understanding of the vital role they play in keeping the communities connected are what keep Tateyama alive. They understand that their work isn't just about plowing roads or maintaining snow-clearing equipment. It's about preserving the link to the outside world, a lifeline that allows people to access what they need to survive and thrive. And in the villages, the families who live and work together in Tateyama face the challenges of each winter with a collective spirit. Their lives are intertwined, not just by geography but by necessity. Every shovelful of snow cleared, every meal shared, every hour spent in the warmth of a neighbor's fire is part of the fabric that holds this community together. In times of hardship, it's this bond that ensures everyone has enough, whether it's food, firewood, or simply a friendly face to talk to. Even when the snow has piled high, blocking paths and making the world feel small, the people of Tateyama know that they are never alone. They are part of a larger whole, a family forged in the cold and strengthened by the shared understanding that together they can endure anything. As the seasons change and the snow begins to melt, the cycle of life in Tateyama continues. The flowers bloom, the streams run clear again, and the snow walls that once towered over the roads are slowly but surely cleared away. But even in the warmth of summer, The spirit of the Tateyama people remains the same: resilient, steadfast, and unyielding. They've learned to thrive in the face of adversity, and the land they live on has become part of who they are. Their strength lies not just in their ability to survive the harsh winters, but in their ability to live to create a life full of meaning, connection, and community. Year after year, winter after winter, the people of Tateyama continue to show the world what it means to resist the harshest of challenges, to adapt to the cold, and to find beauty in the most unexpected places. Their story is not just about survival, but about living fully, embracing the struggles, and understanding that with resilience and unity, even the most extreme conditions cannot hold back the human spirit. And so, life continues to flourish in Tateyama, year after year, no matter how deep the snow or how fierce the winds. As the seasons shift and the snow slowly begins to melt, there's a palpable sense of renewal in Tateyama. The thawing snow reveals the rugged terrain beneath, and with it, the promise of a new season, a season where the harshness of winter is replaced by the vibrant life that springs forth from the land. The once buried paths become visible again, and the community comes together to repair, restore, and prepare for the months ahead. The Alpine Route, having weathered the storm, becomes a symbol of the cycle of life, always opening to new opportunities and challenges. In spring and summer, the snow that was once so imposing begins to give way to lush greenery. The wildflowers bloom, covering the valleys in a colorful blanket, and the streams that were once frozen solid now rush with the water from the melting snow. For the people of Tateyama, this change is a reminder of the resilience of nature itself, a cycle that endures regardless of the trials it faces. As the mountain thaws, the community reconnects with the land, planting crops and tending to their gardens, knowing that their ability to endure the winter is now matched by the work of sowing seeds for the next cycle. But even in the warmer months, the lessons of winter linger. The people of Tateyama know that the mountain is never fully tamed. Each year brings its own challenges, and they face these challenges with the same resilience and adaptability they've learned to embrace. They understand that the harsh winters are just one part of a larger rhythm, an ongoing cycle of preparation, survival, and renewal. The Alpine Route remains the constant thread that ties the region together, providing both a link to the outside world and a reminder of the strength it takes to maintain such a lifeline. Workers continue to maintain the route, ensuring it remains open, both for tourism and for the daily needs of the communities. The routine, though grueling, has become a part of life in Tateyama, much like the changing seasons themselves. The road, always under construction or maintenance, is a metaphor for the community itself, ever evolving, ever resilient, and always preparing for what's next. For the residents of Tateyama, this ongoing cycle is not just about surviving the seasons, it's about thriving in the face of adversity, embracing both the challenges and the rewards that come with living in one of the most extreme environments in the world. It's about building a life that's strong and connected, where every shared meal, every moment of help, and every bit of effort spent in the snow is woven into the fabric of a community that refuses to be broken. And as the years pass and the winters return, each storm brings the people of Tateyama closer together. They know that the mountain, with all its beauty and ferocity, will always be a part of them. The snow will fall again, The wind will howl, but the people of Tateyama will continue to face it, just as they always have together, resilient and strong in the face of whatever comes their way. Imagine standing at the foot of Tateyama, gazing up at its towering peaks, their snow-covered summits piercing the sky. You can feel the weight of the mountain's presence, not just physically, but spiritually. For centuries, Tateyama has been considered a sacred mountain, a powerful symbol in Shintoism, where the mountain is revered as a home of gods and a place of spiritual significance. In the ancient beliefs of the Japanese people, mountains are often seen as the abode of deities, and Tateyama is no exception. The locals believe that the spirits of the mountain guide and protect them, and the mountain itself is treated with the utmost respect. As you walk through the region, you can sense the spiritual energy that surrounds Tateyama. The mountain isn't just a natural wonder, it is a living, breathing entity, an integral part of the community's spiritual and cultural life. In times of difficulty, the people turn to the mountain for strength, knowing that its power can provide the resilience they need to survive the harsh winters. The connection between the people and the mountain is one of deep reverence, a bond forged over generations. It's this spiritual connection that shapes the very fabric of life in Tateyama, with the mountain standing as a guardian over the land and its people. As you continue your journey through Tateyama, you begin to feel the profound sense of reverence that the locals carry in their hearts. It's not just the towering peaks or the endless stretches of snow that demand respect. It's the spiritual presence that the mountain embodies. You can almost hear the whispers of the wind, carrying ancient prayers, as though the mountain itself is speaking to those who are willing to listen. The people here don't just see Tateyama as a physical landmark. It is alive with the spirits of the gods, a powerful, ever-present force in their lives. During times of difficulty, when the storms rage and the cold becomes unbearable, the people turn to the mountain spirit for guidance and strength. Imagine, during the darkest days of winter, a local elder standing at the foot of the mountain, offering silent prayers to the gods. Their eyes are closed, their hands raised toward the snowy peaks, as if asking for protection and wisdom. This is a ritual passed down through generations, a reminder that the mountain's divine power isn't something of the past. It's something to be respected and honored today in the lives of those who live under its watchful gaze. You can picture the pilgrimages that are made to the mountain's sacred peaks, where locals and visitors alike trek through deep snow, climbing higher and higher, until they reach the temples nestled in the mountain's folds. The journey is not just about physical endurance, it's about spiritual cleansing and renewal. At the summit, you can imagine the pilgrims pausing, exhausted but elated, as they offer their prayers to the mountain, standing in awe of its majesty and its power. To reach the top is to stand at the doorway of the gods, where the line between the earthly world and the spiritual realm is blurred. And as the seasons change and the snow begins to melt, the people of Tateyama hold on to this deep spiritual connection. The mountain, though transformed by the warmer months, still holds its power. The temples remain, the shrines are visited, and the spiritual connection between the people and Tateyama remains as strong as ever. It's during these warmer months that the community gathers for festivals, celebrating not just the passing of another season, but honoring the gods of the mountain who have protected them throughout the winter. The festivals are filled with songs, dances, and offerings of food and drink, as the people celebrate the blessings of Tateyama. The snow that once blocked their way is now gone, but the mountain spirit endures, a constant companion, a reminder of the resilience of both nature and the people who call this place home. As the celebration unfolds, there's a profound sense of unity, a recognition that the survival of the community is not only about hard work and perseverance, but about the spiritual harmony they share with the mountain and with each other. Through it all, the sacred spirit of Tateyama stands as a symbol of balance between human endurance and nature's immense power, between the physical and spiritual realms. The people of Tateyama understand that survival is not just about braving the elements or enduring the cold, but about respecting and connecting with the mountain spirit, a force that has always been with them, guiding and protecting them through the harshest of winters and the brightest of summers. Every year, as winter begins to wane, the people of Tateyama come together to celebrate the changing of the seasons with ancient pilgrimages and festivals. These traditions, steeped in history and deeply intertwined with the mountain's spiritual significance, serve as a reminder of the relationship between the land and its people. Imagine a festival where the community gathers at the base of the mountain, offering prayers and thanks to the gods of Tateyama for the safe passage through another winter. The air is filled with the sound of chants and the scent of incense as people light candles and offer rice, fruits, and sake, honoring the spirits of the mountain. During these festivals, the mountain isn't just a place of worship, it is alive with energy. You can picture the procession of locals, dressed in traditional attire, making their way up the mountain for a pilgrimage to its sacred peak. It's a journey that takes hours, sometimes days, and the people climb not only to honor the gods, but also to find spiritual strength. It's a moment of profound reflection, where the harshness of the winter is left behind, and the warmth of the community and the sacred power of the mountain guide their way. These festivals are a celebration of survival, of resilience, and of the deep, unbreakable connection between the people of Tateyama and the divine force that they believe resides in the mountain. As the pilgrims make their way up the mountain, you can feel the sense of purpose and devotion in the air. The climb, though physically demanding, is not a burden, it's a sacred ritual, a pilgrimage that connects them to their ancestors and to the very spirit of Tateyama. The path is long, winding through the dense forests and snow-covered landscapes, but with each step, the community grows closer, both to each other and to the divine force that they believe watches over them. Along the way, you can imagine the chanting growing louder, rhythmic and resonant, as the pilgrims call out to the gods, asking for their continued protection and guidance. The sound of the chants, carried on the crisp mountain air, is powerful, a blend of the human spirit and the mountain spirit, harmonizing as they ascend. The scent of incense swirls around them, creating an atmosphere of spirituality and reverence that fills the air with a sense of deep connection to something greater than themselves. As they reach the sacred peak, the final stretch of the journey, there's a moment of stillness. The pilgrims stand in silence, looking out over the vast landscape below, where the land stretches as far as the eye can see. The mountain, blanketed in snow, seems almost to breathe, alive with the power of the spirits. This is a moment of profound reflection, where the weight of the past winter, with all its hardships, fades into the background, and a sense of peace and renewal takes its place. At the summit, the rituals begin. Offerings of rice, fruits, and sake are placed on the altar, and prayers are whispered to the gods, thanking them for their protection and seeking their blessings for the year to come. In these moments, you can see how the spiritual connection between the people and the mountain has sustained them through the harshest winters. The journey itself is not just a physical test. It's a reminder of the resilience and strength that comes from their relationship with Tateyama. They do not just survive the winter, they thrive, drawing power from the mountain's divine presence, knowing that with the mountain's guidance, they can face whatever challenges lie ahead. The festival isn't just about the sacrifice or the rituals. It's about community, about coming together to share in something greater than individual struggle. The joy and camaraderie that fill the air as the community gathers for the feast after the pilgrimage is infectious. As they share food and stories, as the night deepens and the lanterns flicker, there's an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the mountain, for the community, and for the resilience that carries them through. These festivals serve as a reminder. The connection between the people and Tateyama is not just about surviving harsh conditions, it's about thriving with the mountain, in harmony with its sacred power. Through these ancient traditions, the people of Tateyama celebrate not only the changing of the seasons, but their ability to endure and flourish despite the challenges they face. The mountain may be harsh, but in the end, it is also a symbol of strength, guidance, and spiritual fulfillment. Standing atop the mountain, you feel a deep respect for both the power of nature and the people who have learned to live in harmony with it. Tateyama, with its towering presence, represents the balance between human endurance and the unforgiving power of nature. The mountain's sheer beauty and power are undeniable, but so too is the strength of the people who live in its shadow. They don't fight the mountain, they live with it, respecting its natural rhythms and adapting to the challenges it presents. There is a quiet understanding that survival in such an environment requires not only physical strength, but also an acceptance of the mountain's force. You can imagine the people of Tateyama during the brutal winter months, looking up at the snow-covered peaks with a sense of awe and reverence, understanding that the mountain's power is both a gift and a challenge. The snowstorms, the freezing winds, the harsh winters, they are all part of Tateyama's essence. And yet, through it all, life continues. The people don't conquer the mountain. Instead, they adapt to its conditions. They have learned that survival comes from respecting nature's power, understanding its rhythms, and building lives that are in tune with it. Standing there on the mountain, you begin to understand that the people of Tateyama don't see themselves as conquerors of nature, but rather as its partners. The mountain's power isn't something to fight against. It's something to coexist with, to respect, and to honor. In the face of its immensity, they've learned to listen to the whispers of the wind, to the rhythm of the seasons, and to the silence that follows a snowstorm. Each snowfall, each gust of wind, each frozen morning is a reminder that Tateyama's spirit is always present, a force that shapes life here in profound ways. When the storm clouds gather and the wind begins to howl, the people do not despair. They know it is not a battle to be won, but a natural cycle to be endured. The mountain's seasonal rhythms, from the harsh, bitter winters to the gentle spring thaw, teach them patience. In the winter, when the snow builds up and isolates them from the outside world, The people of Tateyama come together in strength and community. They don't see the isolation as a curse, but as an opportunity for reflection and for building deeper connections with each other and the land. You can picture families huddled together in their homes, the warmth from the fire providing comfort against the freezing cold outside. They respect the mountain's power by preparing, conserving, and adapting. Food is carefully stored, firewood is stacked, and the spirit of togetherness is always present. The isolation becomes a bonding experience, as neighbors help each other clear paths, share meals, and provide emotional support through the long, dark days. Through these hardships, they don't just survive, they form unbreakable bonds that make them stronger together. As the snow begins to melt in the spring, the mountain reveals new challenges. It's a time of transition, one that requires adaptability. The people don't rush into the new season, but rather they approach it with the same patience they've learned during the winter. Spring cleaning begins. Crops are planted, and the landscape is cleared of remnants from the long winter. There's a quiet celebration of survival, but also of renewal, a reminder that the mountain, though harsh, offers opportunities for growth. Even in the summer, when the mountain is adorned with lush greenery and wildflowers, the people still maintain a deep respect for Tateyama's power. They continue their pilgrimages and festivals, honoring the spirits of the mountain and giving thanks for another season of balance. The seasons may change, but the mountain's presence remains constant, guiding the people through every challenge, every storm, every harsh winter. The balance between human resilience and nature's power isn't just a fact of life, it's a way of life. Through all the challenges Tateyama presents, the people know that survival isn't just about endurance, it's about respecting the mountain's natural cycles and finding ways to live in harmony with them. They understand that the mountain's immense beauty and unforgiving power are two sides of the same coin. The snow that blocks their path is the same snow that nourishes the land in spring. The cold winds that chill their bones are the same winds that remind them of the mountain's timeless strength. In Tateyama, life continues not because the people conquer nature, but because they've learned to thrive with it, adapting to its rhythms, respecting its power, and finding strength in their unity. The mountain, with all its beauty and brutality, remains a sacred guardian, and the people of Tateyama live alongside it, respecting its force and drawing from its power to guide them through the cycles of life. Tateyama, in all its sacred grandeur, is a reminder that nature's power is both a force to be reckoned with and a force that sustains life. The people of Tateyama have learned that their survival depends on their ability to live in balance with the land, not to control it. The sacred spirit of Tateyama isn't just about worship, it's about acknowledging the mountain's immense power and finding ways to thrive alongside it. Every snowstorm, every gust of wind, and every icy morning serves as a reminder that life is a delicate balance between human endurance and the strength of the natural world. And in Tateyama, this balance is not just a way of life, it is the key to survival and spiritual fulfillment. In Tateyama, the mountain spirit is woven into every aspect of life. Survival here is not a fight against nature, it's a partnership with it. The people don't see themselves as masters of the mountain, but rather as stewards, its guardians, living alongside its untamed power. The rhythm of their lives is synchronized with the mountain cycles, the harsh winters, the fleeting summers, the deep snow, and the thaw. They've learned that the key to living here isn't to resist the mountain's might, but to accept it, adapt to it, and find strength in its challenges. Every day, as the people go about their tasks shoveling snow, tending to crops, maintaining homes, they do so with a quiet reverence, knowing that without the mountain's power, there would be no life here. The wind that howls through the valleys may be fierce, but it is also a reminder of the vitality of the land. The snowstorms that blanket the region, though sometimes paralyzing, are the very same storms that protect the soil in the spring, nourishing the crops that will sustain them. The people understand this delicate balance, and it shapes everything they do. They are constantly reminded that the power of nature is not an adversary to overcome, but a force to live in harmony with. At the same time, this respect for nature's strength brings a spiritual fulfillment that transcends the physical act of surviving. To live in Tateyama is to be part of something much larger than oneself, to be part of the ongoing, timeless dance between humanity and the natural world. Pilgrimages to the mountain's sacred peaks, prayers offered to its gods, and rituals honoring the changing of the seasons all serve as acts of gratitude and recognition. These spiritual practices help the people stay grounded in their connection to the land, keeping them in balance with Tateyama's immense power. There's a quiet wisdom in the way the people approach life. They don't rush, they live deliberately. They know that survival here is not about forcing nature to bend to their will, but about finding a way to coexist with it. Every task, from clearing the snow to making sure the firewood is stocked, becomes an act of mindfulness, a way to honor the land that sustains them. And in return, Tateyama offers its guidance. The winds, the snow, the sun, they all serve as teachers, showing the people how to live with patience, endurance, and respect. Even in the most difficult seasons, when the snow piles high and the winds threaten to drive them indoors, the people of Tateyama continue. They know that the harshest winters will eventually give way to the warmth of spring, and that the mountain's beauty and power will always remain. The balance they've found between human endurance and the mountain's strength gives them the resilience to face anything that comes their way. They have learned to not just survive, but to thrive, living in tune with nature, spiritually fulfilled and connected to the sacred spirit of Tateyama. In Tateyama, balance is more than a way of life. It is the very foundation of existence, the key to survival, and the path to spiritual fulfillment. As you reflect on life in Tateyama, you realize that survival here is not just about enduring the harsh conditions of the mountain. It's about learning to adapt to them. The deep snow, the bone-chilling cold, and the howling winds all serve as constant reminders of the mountain's power and the resilience required to live in such a place. From the workers who clear the Alpine Route to the families who tend to their homes and communities during the long winters, each person has learned to live in harmony with nature. Their lives are shaped by the seasons, the snow, and the mountain itself, as they adapt their practices and routines to meet the challenges of each new day. In Tateyama, survival isn't just about making it through the winter. It's about finding a way to thrive despite the harshest of environments. The landscape, too, is shaped by the people who live here. The carefully built homes, the paths cleared of snow, the traditions and festivals, all are a reflection of the way the people have learned to coexist with their environment. In Tateyama, the mountain and the people are not two separate forces, but intertwined, each shaping and defining the other. As you stand among the homes nestled within the snow-dusted landscape, you can feel the connection between the people and the land that surrounds them. Every building, every path, and every ritual serves as a testament to the way they've learned to adapt to the harsh realities of the environment. The houses, built with thick walls and slanted roofs, are designed to withstand the weight of the snow and the fierce winds. They stand not just as shelter, but as a reflection of the pragmatic wisdom passed down through generations. These homes are not mere structures. They are symbols of resilience, built with the knowledge that the forces of nature must be respected and that survival depends on living in harmony with the land. The paths that wind through the village, though often buried under feet of snow, are cleared with careful consideration. These aren't just roads, they are lifelines. The act of clearing snow, of ensuring that movement between homes and the outside world continues, becomes a shared responsibility, one that unites the community. It's a rhythm that exists in the daily lives of those who live here, shoveling snow, tending the fire, maintaining the Alpine route. These rituals form the backbone of life in Tateyama, a continual reminder of the delicate balance between human effort and nature's relentless force. The traditions and festivals that take place here further illustrate this relationship between the people and the mountain. Each festival, each pilgrimage to the mountain's sacred peaks, is not only a way to honor the gods of Tateyama, but also an opportunity to celebrate the strength of the community and their ongoing connection to the land. These rituals act as spiritual checkpoints, where the people pause to reflect on the past season, give thanks for their survival, and seek guidance for the coming months. The mountain, though imposing, provides them with the spiritual strength to carry on, even when faced with the coldest, most unforgiving winter days. Living in Tateyama is a constant negotiation with the elements, a dance between the will of the people and the power of nature. But through this dance, they have found not just survival, but purpose and fulfillment. The people have learned that it is not enough to simply endure the challenges nature presents. They must adapt and thrive in the face of them. In every snowstorm, every frozen morning, there is an opportunity to grow, to reflect, and to strengthen the bonds that hold the community together. The resilience of the people of Tateyama is a reflection of the mountain spirit, tough, enduring, and unwavering, just like the people who call it home. Through their connection to the mountain, the land, and each other, the people of Tateyama have created a life that is more than just about surviving. It's about living in harmony with the powerful forces of nature, honoring the sacred spirit of the mountain, and finding beauty in the very challenges that make life here so unique. In Tateyama, survival is not a solitary endeavor. It is a collective effort, rooted in resilience, respect, and community. As you stand in the shadow of Tateyama's towering peaks, you feel the weight of the human-nature relationship that defines life here. The people of Tateyama do not try to conquer nature, nor do they ignore its power. Instead, they respect it, adapt to it, and find balance with it. The mountain's fury, its fierce snowstorms, bitter cold, and treacherous winds could easily overwhelm any who dared to face it, but the people of Tateyama have learned that survival comes not from resisting these forces, but from living with them. They build their homes to withstand the snow, they prepare their food to last through the harsh months, and they gather together to support each other in times of need. The struggle against nature is not one of domination, but of coexistence. Through this relationship, The people of Tateyama understand that survival in this environment requires both resilience and respect. The strength of nature is as much a part of the landscape as the strength of the people who inhabit it. Their ability to live in this challenging environment speaks to a deeper understanding that the challenges they face are not separate from them, but interwoven with their existence. The mountain, in its harsh beauty, teaches them patience, endurance, and respect. As you reflect on the lives of those who call Tateyama home, you begin to realize that the mountain shapes not only their physical surroundings, but their values and worldview. The people here live in a constant state of awareness of the natural forces at play. The cold, the snow, the wind, these are not just obstacles to overcome, but realities that require deep understanding and respect. They've learned that, to live here, one must embrace balance, acknowledging the mountain's power while learning to live with it, not against it. When the snowstorm rages outside, the people don't rush to fight it. They make their homes more resilient, their food stores more plentiful, and their community stronger. They understand that winter is a season that demands patience. It's a time to conserve energy, to reflect, and to rely on each other. The struggle is not one of individualism, but of collective effort. You can picture neighbors checking in on each other, offering help when snow blocks a path, when supplies run low, or when someone needs warmth. The shared wisdom of those who have weathered many winters together creates a sense of unity, a collective spirit that helps the community face the next storm. In this environment, survival isn't about sheer strength. It's about adaptability, the ability to bend without breaking. When the winds howl and the snow piles up, the people of Tateyama take it in stride. They don't fight nature. They adapt to its rhythms. Their work, their customs, and even their way of thinking reflect this profound respect for the land and its forces. For example, the way they build their homes, with thick walls and steep roofs, speaks to the wisdom they've gathered over generations. They've learned the importance of preparation, not only for survival, but for living with a peaceful coexistence with nature. The mountain's influence goes deeper still, shaping not only the physical survival of its people, but also their spirituality. Tateyama is not just a mountain. It is a sacred place, a home to the gods, a connection to the divine. The people of Tateyama see themselves as part of a greater cycle of nature, where the seasons, the weather, and the land are all linked in a web of interdependence. The harshness of the mountain doesn't diminish its beauty or its spiritual significance, it enhances it. They don't just seek protection from the mountain's power, they seek guidance. In every snowstorm, every gust of wind, there's a message, a reminder that they are part of something larger than themselves. The deep spiritual bond the people of Tateyama share with their mountain guides, their resilience. They understand that the power of nature can't be avoided or conquered. It must be respected, worked with, and honored. It's this understanding that enables them to face the toughest winters with strength and grace. The mountain teaches them patience, endurance, and the importance of community. In Tateyama, survival isn't just about fighting back against nature, but about finding a way to live alongside it, learning to respect its power, and using that respect to thrive despite its challenges. As you stand at the foot of Tateyama, the towering peaks before you are not just a physical presence, but a reminder of this balance. The snow may fall relentlessly, the wind may howl, and the cold may numb your bones, but it is this very mountain, with all its fury and beauty, that sustains life in Tateyama. It isn't just about surviving the mountain. It's about learning to live with its force, to respect it, to work in harmony with it, and to find beauty in its challenges. The people of Tateyama understand this profound truth, and it is this understanding that gives them the strength to endure year after year. No matter how fierce the storm, Tateyama remains a testament to human endurance, a place where the extremes of nature meet the resilience of the human spirit. The people here live not just with the mountain, but alongside it, navigating its fury with a quiet strength and an unwavering resolve. The challenges of Tateyama's winters, though formidable, are not obstacles to be overcome, but tests of endurance and adaptation. Every storm, every gust of wind, every frozen morning reminds the people that survival is a continuous journey, one that requires constant effort, respect for the land, and the strength to face the forces of nature with humility. The people of Tateyama have learned that survival is not a single moment in time, but a lifelong commitment to living in harmony with the land. The mountain's power isn't something to fear, but something to honor. Through their perseverance, their community spirit, and their deep connection to the sacred mountain, the people of Tateyama have shown that survival isn't just about endurance. It's about respecting nature's force and thriving in spite of it. In the shadow of Tateyama, humanity and nature stand side by side, not as adversaries, but as partners in the ongoing dance of life. In Tateyama, life is a dance, one that requires patience, respect, and above all, the wisdom to understand the natural rhythms of the land. The people here don't try to overpower the mountain. Instead, they flow with it, learning its patterns, adapting to its ever-changing moods, and finding ways to thrive despite the extremes it presents. The harsh winters, the fierce snowstorms, and the cold winds may seem like insurmountable obstacles to an outsider. But for the people of Tateyama, they are simply part of the cycle of life, challenges to be respected, not feared. Each season in Tateyama serves as a reminder of this endless cycle. When winter's fury begins to subside, the people look forward to the rebirth that spring brings, with its melting snow, blossoming flowers, and the promise of a new cycle of growth. But they don't forget the lessons of winter. The mountain teaches them that nothing is permanent, that the harshness of today can give way to the beauty of tomorrow, and that resilience lies not just in survival, but in the ability to embrace change. The same mountain that imposes the weight of snow and cold also nurtures the soil for the next season's crops. It is in this balance that life in Tateyama flourishes. The spiritual connection the people have with the mountain is not just one of survival, but of reverence. Tateyama isn't just a backdrop to their lives. It is an active participant, a divine partner in the dance of life. The pilgrimages, the festivals, and the quiet daily rituals are expressions of their deep respect for the mountain's power. In this sense, Tateyama is not merely a place to live, it is a living, breathing force that shapes their existence. Worship isn't just about praying in times of hardship. It's about honoring the mountain every day, in every action, and in every thought. And as the seasons turn, life continues in Tateyama, not because the people conquer nature, but because they understand it. They respect its power, and in turn, nature has provided them with the strength to endure, to adapt, and to thrive. Their unity, their unwavering sense of community, and their deep spiritual connection to the land enable them to face the mountain's challenges with quiet dignity. It's not about fighting against the mountain, it's about finding a way to live in sync with it, to live alongside it. In Tateyama, every storm is met with a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that survival isn't just about weathering the storm, but learning from it, adapting to it, and ultimately thriving because of it. The people of Tateyama continue to prove that resilience is not just about enduring the hardships of life. It is about flourishing through them, growing stronger with each test, and deepening their connection to the land that sustains them. In this remote and harsh corner of the world, humanity and nature stand together, partners in an unending dance of life, survival, and respect. As the evening settles in and the mountain's towering peaks fade into the twilight, the people of Tateyama rest, knowing that tomorrow will bring another opportunity to face the challenges of the land with strength and grace. The mountain, ever present, watches over them, its power felt in every gust of wind, every falling snowflake, and every quiet moment shared in the warmth of their homes. In this sacred space, amidst the raw beauty and harsh realities, they find peace, knowing that their connection to the mountain will continue to sustain them through all seasons of life. And now, as the night deepens and the world outside settles under a blanket of snow, you too can find a moment of stillness, a pause in the journey. Let the quiet resilience of Tateyama guide you as you drift into your rest, knowing that just as the mountain endures, so too do we, through every challenge, through every change, always finding a way to thrive. Good night, and may you dream of the enduring strength of Tateyama, where nature's fury and humanity's resilience meet in a harmonious dance.